Yeah, well, and it's a good question, which I have great thought to. It's marvelous. But what I would say was, I think it is wonderful that in determining what morality should be, that we have the Torah. We have the Torah there to give us a different angle. As you made the point, what is the importance of life? What is the importance of suffering? This is great. We've got the Torah, that we have it there, and I think that one of our greatest deficiencies in teaching Torah is that we may teach Torah, I'm sorry to say this, and decide how far you should be from a city of refuge and how far you shouldn't, honing the intellect. And yet, these hugely important issues, like morality, which are taught in other religions, by the way, as a major principles, we seem not to teach. We don't seem to teach them as a major aspect of our religion to our children, or generally.
Is it a statement because I can disagree, or are you asking?
You're entitled to disagree, of course.
I think you're right that we teach it differently, because in principle, when we follow the mitzvot, then our morality and learn Torah, our morality changes. And really, to the best way of education is to be a role model, is to show our children, as Stanley said, is how to show them when to behave and what. It's not just to talk about it, it's really to show it to our next generation. How do we show it? By doing different acts. So, we have a mitzvah today that we got to visit the sick. We got to do this. And we're full of, and we have to.
I'm sorry, I'm being called by my wife. I've got to go.
That's part of the mitzvah. That's part of morality.
But look, in this discussion, is your question to do with just the Jews and the Jewish religion?
I'm sorry, I enjoyed it and I've got to go. Bye.
Bye, Lionel.
All right.
Because if we're discussing what morality is, I would expect that it should have an overarching application to the world in general, and not specifically to Jews or any religion. In which case, we know that people are entitled to seek morality, to act morally, but they may be of no religion. They may not believe in God. So how would you define morality in relation to a non-Jew, a non-believer, someone who doesn't believe in God?
I think Stanley touched a little bit about it, because you want to say something, Stanley, please?
Yes, I mean, there's one thing which was emunah, faith. There's also one other thing which is chesed, loving kindness, all right? Emes is as well is truth. These are fundamentals of any religion, any religion. So we're talking about any religion has faith, chesed, and ve'emes, loving kindness and truth. These are fundamentals. This is what we call in philosophy, the moral sciences are based on these fundamentals. And that is true for any faith at all right? The Jewish religion puts paramount faith in God, all right? One God. And that was fundamental in our religion. We believe in life, we believe in God, we believe in doing good deeds, and we believe in giving, looking after the poor. All these are fundamentals in Judaism. And you learn this as well from the cradle, virtually, to the grave. These are the fundamentals. And you have to have some sort of innate belief as well with this. The great dilemma came, and you read this time and time again, of people who were in the concentration camps, who were being Jews, as it were, who were being persecuted. They said, can there be a God when we're suffering so much? And that is a really sort of difficult question to answer. But many of them came through this, and they although they suffered greatly, they still had great strength and belief because they were brought up that way. And you read this time and time again, particularly in their memoirs. I always think of Primo Levi. He when he was in the concentration camps, this was in Italy, and he suffered greatly from that. And he wrote this book, and it's so fundamental in Judaism. So we always, and as you said, I mean, the first question came with this case. And I understand the parents' belief that they think their child would be better in Israel. There may be a cure even for the child. But the law of the land in this country says the safety of the child was paramount. This is what, and the safety of the child would be jeopardized by the child being transported to go to Israel. That's me.
Okay, I'll touch about that, but before we touch again about the subject of the story, just to bring back about again, say your point again, Ian. Sorry.
I am trying to focus on the question
You asked
of
about
bringing God into the question, when
Yes.
there might be people who do not have a God in their life, who don't believe in God, and yet they are entitled and expected to be as moral as the next man.
So the answer, in my opinion, will be you can get to a certain amount of morality by yourself, and that is by searching the inner truth without lying, without bluffing yourself. What's good for yourself, don't do to others. You can really search and to be honest with yourself, and you'll find a lot of morality the way we're supposed to do. But there is a limit. And especially when you're talking about a society entwined by many, many, many occasions, many things, you have to have a system. In order to have a system, and in order to have many people agree on morality, it will not work unless you have something above, which is God, which is an infinite system that can tell us truly what morality is. If someone lives in Africa and he doesn't have a way to the Tanakh or whatever it is, then he can come to a certain amount of morality, and then he has to do that jump. If he comes to that morality, it comes to a point, and he will realize, wait a second, there's God. There has to be someone that tells us what to do, and then he will find and search, and then he will come eventually to Judaism. And that's what I believe in, that if someone in the world out there that wants to know the truth, as also Stanley said about truth, then he will come and he will find the truth by definition. God is not going to let him just dry out there and stay with it. If he's truly moral with himself, he will find the true morality and get to the truth. Regarding what you said, Stanley, is that is the question. Do we say let's a person stay over here and die, because we don't want him to suffer, or do we say if there's 1% that we should live, maybe he should suffer, and that's it? That is a question. Now, I'm not getting into the case again because I don't know exactly what the judge says or it wasn't about exactly that case, because I don't really, even if you say something like that, who knows? But the idea was, if there was a chance, maybe even 1%, would they let? And I feel how I say, I don't know exactly the truth, but what I feel that in England, if there's 1 or 2%, they wouldn't let the person to go out if the person is suffering. And that's what happened, I think 2 years ago. Again, another story with a lady that had a treatment that maybe is going to help in America. They didn't let her get out. They didn't let her fly. Why? Because it's not comfortable. And that is wrong. That even if you're jeopardizing and you're supposed to, if a person, I'll give you the question. If a person is going to know that he's going to die, a person, in another month or two, and if he drives to America, let's say, there's a percentage that he will live a long life, but by driving, there's also a percentage that he will die instead of a month or two, a month. Or that's a moral question. What do? Do you put yourself into danger in order to save your life? And that's what soldiers are all about. You're putting the soldiers in danger in order to save lives. So you're putting yourself in danger and flying in order to save your life for the future. And if it's 1%, you should do it. And that's my opinion. I still feel that if it was that the case, maybe it wasn't that the case, but if that was the case, they should have told them to fly and to save that person's life. There's 1%. But anyway, that's it's hypothetical because I don't really know exactly what happened there. But to finalize, and this is important, to finalize what we said today about true morality is that in order to tailor a society that is based on true morality, you have to, first of all, not be biased, because in the end, it's all about yourself. How do you see things? And then here we got a democracy with the Nazis that they decided, and so on. B, you have to follow God's rule, which is, you see in some Haredi community that even God says something, they will try to interpret it to their ways. That's another problem with morality. You have to search for the truth until the end, really to see. And number three is really to find that balance between looking to what Hashem says and searching between yourself and down deep to search and to find the truth within you in order to create a true morality. But at the end state, when you cannot have a morality system without putting God into the picture, it's a definite failure. It's a definite failure. You have to put the sense that something is higher and then yourself. And that is what Judaism is all about. That is what Judaism is all about. It's about believing that it's not just about me. It's not just how I see things. I am limited. Only by putting Hashem into the picture that I can be unlimited and get to some kind of a perfection in the system. And it couldn't be that we're not doing everything, but at least we know. We're not like the chazer, he shows his legs that he's split two. Oh, I'm kosher. No, we're not saying we're kosher. We're not saying we know the morality. No, not at all. We do not know until we put Hashem into the
motion detected at the front door.
Azaku Baruch, and have a fantastic day.
Thank you.
Melvin,
Thank you.
I'll see you and Professor, all the best. But tomorrow we have a bar mitzvah, 8:00.
I'll be there.